Hi guys, Redneck Wannabe here, and today let's talk about starting seeds. So it's the not even the middle of January, and I already have spring fever, man. I'm ready to get my garden going. So one thing I encourage y'all to do is have a garden journal, if you will. That way you write down, okay, I planted tomatoes here, and we harvested tomatoes such and such date. Because man, if you're anything like me, I forget what I do yesterday, much less a year ago. So I did look at the journal, and last year I planted seeds February 1st, and we harvested first batch of squash May 20th, and we harvested our first tomato June 7th. So this year I'm going to try to do things a little bit sooner, and hopefully we'll get more sooner. So here's in the past, this is what I've done for starting seeds. So by no means is this the right way. It just works for me. So I'm going to do something a little different this year. My wife is an eBay entrepreneur, and one day I went with her to a thrift store, and there's 12 pots in one of these sleeves, and I bought a whole case of these. So I think there's 50 of these sleeves in a whole case, and I bought this whole case for $2. So I'm going to use that this year. Also, these, you can get this at any nursery. Whenever we plant flowers for people, I'll keep these things. They're just real, a one-time, really maybe a two-time use, but I'll keep these, and that's where I'll start my seeds as well. So those are what I'm going to use. There's also some bigger pots that I bought. There was a hydroponics place that was going out of business, and I bought maybe a quart size, bigger, maybe 3 times as big as that black one. So I bought those for, I want to say, 50 cents each, or something cheap. The cookie sheets I buy at a thrift store. I think they're 50 cents or $1 each. Unfortunately, I had to buy that brand new. I don't even remember how much I bought it. It's a T5, and then Christmas lights. So you can go buy one of those expensive, I think they're called growing pads, and I don't even know how much they are, but they're way too much, more money than I want to spend, I'll tell you that. So here's redneck version. You can either put this directly on the ground or get a piece of wood and then put your cookie sheet on it and your plants. Now what I usually do is I keep this not soaked, but there's just a fine small layer of water on the cookie sheet just to keep the seeds damp so they don't dry out. Now I had a real cheap thermometer that I put in here last year just to know what the temperature was, and the temperature of the cookie sheet, if I remember right, was between 105 and 110. And so the soil temperature was what, maybe, I don't know, 90, 95, and things just germinated fast. So honestly, my challenge that I have is not so much the germination, but I don't think I hardened them off enough before I put them in, because after I put them in, that's when I saw a little bit of deterioration. So I think this year I'm going to harden them off a little bit. I'm going to use that greenhouse that I made, so hopefully I won't have to harden them off that much. But what I use is just it's a plastic 4-tier shelf. It's probably 3 foot by 18 foot, and so I have 3 tiers of those, and that's this is my growing pad. So it doesn't matter what color, multicolor, green, red, clear, whatever, but they generate heat. Now, no, these are only going to last one time, because what I saw last year was the first time that I used these, but what I saw last year was these get all oxidized and they just get all yucky looking, and you might be able to use them one more year, I don't know, but I just tossed them. After Christmas you can buy them for maybe $1 a box, something like that. They're not expensive really during Christmas time, if I remember right, but anyway, after Christmas you can get a good deal. So put the lights down, put the cookie sheet, put your seedlings on. I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know if I keep a little bit of water in here. I don't know if this is just going to make this mush or not. If so, I've got plenty of those little black containers to put them in, just, you know, if that happens. Got the timer right there. It's my understanding, I could be wrong, but I don't think you need light to germinate the seeds. You need heat, but after they germinate, obviously you need the light. So I've got that light dangling down just maybe an inch from the seedlings, and I think I had that light last year going, I want to say like 14 hours, and the timer I just used I had three shelves, and so I had all of those on a timer and a light, and that worked really, really well. So I'm going to do the same thing this year in the greenhouse, but you know, obviously I won't need the light. So I've got plenty of Christmas lights, plenty of cookie sheets, got all kinds of stuff to put them in. Now, some people just adamant about using potting soil. What I've always done is in the winter I will get, I don't know how many yards, I'll go buy a yard of compost, and I'll put it in the back of my truck, and I'll bring it over here and I'll put it in the beds. And so I have I don't know, maybe a yard of compost out there right to around that fence, where, you know, whenever I need compost, I just go over there and grab it. And so in years past, that's all I've used. I just go get, you know, fill those things up full of compost, put my seeds in there, and I've never had an issue. Some people just adamant that you've got to have potting soil and you've got to bake it so you kill all the weed seeds and fungus and all that. Could be, I don't know, but that's always worked for me. So I just like it simple. But that's what I do, simple. Like I said, I have super good luck germinating. It's just, I think where I drop the balls, I just haven't hardened them off well enough before I put them out. Once I put them out, you know, they just, you know, they get a little sickly, but they bounce back. But I want them just to put them in there and just shoot up, because, you know, I'd love to have some tomatoes come May 1st, but we'll see what happens. So anyway, I hope that helps. And I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate you. And y'all have a great day. Take care.